in Tamil Nadu, and the political heat has already picked up. The latest entrant in Tamil Nadu politics, Vijay, is back in campaign mode. This is almost 2 months after the deadly stampede in Karur. TVK chief Vijay's rally, that's where the stampede had taken place. But now it looks like the party has charted out the way forward with caution. In his first public outreach after the stampede, he met around 2,000 people, mostly farmers and weavers from Kancheepuram district. This indoor meeting took place at the premises of a private college, and apart from the 2,000 people who all had ID cards, others were not permitted into the venue at all. This was an indoor meeting. This comes in the backdrop of the Salem District Police rejecting TVK's plea seeking permission and protection for a massive rally on the 4th of December. The police have advised TVK to come up with a different date, saying it coincides with the Tamil festival. Until permissions for the rallies are obtained, the TVK has decided to organize only indoor meetings.
ஏண்டா இந்த விஜய தொட்டோம்? ஏண்டா விஜய் கூட இருக்கிற அந்த மக்களை தொட்டோம்? நினைச்சு 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 ஃபீல் பண்ண போறீங்க. மக்கள் எல்லாரும் உங்களுக்கு தற்குறிகளா? அதே மக்களோட ஓட்டு வாங்க போற நாம தற்குறிகள்னா, அப்ப இவ்வளவு நாள் அதே மக்கள் கிட்ட இருந்தானே நீங்க ஓட்டு வாங்கிட்டு இருந்தீங்க. ஒண்ணு மட்டும் சொல்றேன், எழுதி வச்சுக்கோங்க. இந்த தற்குறின்னு சொல்றீங்கல்ல, இந்த தற்குறிகள்லாம் ஒன்னா சேர்ந்துதான் வாழ்நாள் பூரா விடையை கண்டுபிடிக்காத முடியாத அளவுக்கு உங்க அரசியலே ஒரு கேள்விக்குறியாக்க போறாங்க. உங்களை என்ன நம்ம எல்லாரையும் பொய் சொல்லி நம்ப வச்சு ஓட்டு போட வச்சு ஏமாத்தினாங்கல்ல, அப்படி ஏமாத்தி ஆட்சிக்கு வந்து நல்லது செய்யற மாதிரி நடிக்கிறாங்கல்ல, நாடகம் ஆடுறாங்கல்ல, அவங்கள எப்படி நம்ம கேள்வி கேட்காம இருக்க முடியும்? இப்படி கொள்கையை வெறும் பேச்சில மட்டுமே பேசிக்கிட்டு எல்லா கொள்கையும் அண்டர் கிரவுண்ட்ல அடக்கி வச்சுக்கிட்டு என்னமோ இவங்களுக்கு மட்டும்தான் எல்லா கொள்கையும் குத்தகைக்கு எடுத்த மாதிரி, இவங்க கொள்கையே கொள்ளைதானே.
Let's get you breaking updates now coming in. In fact, Times Now has accessed details of the new SOPs that have been issued by the government. This is the draft SOPs that have been issued by the government. Remember, this is after the Madras High Court had asked the government to frame rules. These rules will apply to all events with over a crowd of over 5,000 participants. And top sources have told Times Now that as per these rules, the organizers will be solely responsible for crowd safety and any damage to public and private property. Also, if the crowd exceeds the expected turnout, it will be considered a violation by the organizers. My colleague Dharini is joining us on the broadcast. She is getting us this scoop. Dharini, there were a lot of questions on the SOPs. The High Court had also asked the government to come up with the SOPs for all the events. But some of these decisions that have been taken, this of course is a draft that has been prepared, could garner some controversy. Take us through the highlights.
Well, we've accessed a copy of the draft SOP submitted by the state government at the Madras High Court. A copy of the same has been handed over to all the political parties. So these SOPs are applicable to any gathering that has an anticipated crowd of more than 5,000 people. And these SOPs say that the organizers should submit an undertaking to the respective district administration that they are responsible for crowd management and crowd regulation. They have to make sure that all the basic needs such as drinking water, toilets and medical aid are provided at the venue, and they also have to make sure that the road shows, especially in case of road shows, the road shows have to be completed within 3 hours. So the time frame, the maximum time frame for any road show in Tamil Nadu henceforth, especially in light of the elections, is only 3 hours. And apart from that, the SOP also talks about police deployment. The local district administration, whichever district it may be, they have to categorize each and every event as whether it's a low risk event, moderate risk event or a high risk event, and depending on the categorization, the police deployment has to be made. For example, if it is a high risk event, for every 50 people, one police personnel should be deployed. This is the ratio. For high risk events, the deployment ratio is 1:50. For a moderate risk 1:100, and for a low risk 1:200. This is the police deployment ratio mentioned in the SOPs. So we have to wait and see, how the final SOPs are going to look like. But for the time being, the draft SOPs accessed by Times now list out these things. These are the highlights.
Okay, all right, Dharini, thank you for joining us with those details. Now, viewers, these new draft SOPs for regulation and management of public gatherings has sparked a political slugfest because the TVK says that these draft SOPs by the state government have been made with an intent to target the TVK. But on the other hand, the DMK has responded and has said that this is mere victim card by the TVK.
Whenever we raise pertinent questions to the ruling establishment, whenever we raise people's issues before them, the only answer they have is to label us and phrase us as the Tarkuri or immature or ideologyless crowd. Our leader has clearly stated that Tamil Vetri Kalaham, which was founded on the basic tenet of Pirapukkum Ella Uyirkam, which means that all people on earth are same, irrespective of caste, creed, religion or sex, and the party which had been one of the first voices against SIR, be it CAA or Waqf amendment or this SIR, how can you label us as ideologyless party?
No, the TVK should come out of the hallucination from the belief that the entire universe is conspiring against them. The fact is, these SOPs are an outcome of an advice or a direction from the Honorable High Court, and these SOPs have been drafted in consultation with various political parties and organizations. I think the members, the political leaders of the TVK should read all this before making baseless allegations and comment on the government and the party.
So these SOPs, these are the draft SOPs that have been drafted by the government. It comes into effect soon. The government says that it was made with consultation with the political parties. Let's open this up. Joining us on the broadcast is Kovai Satyan, national spokesperson of the AIADMK, JVC Sriram, political strategist, Ranjana, spokesperson of the TVK, and Dr. Pullarao, political activist, joining us, analyst joining us on the broadcast. But before I go across to the guests, let's break down for you what these SOPs actually say and why it could get into some controversy, because it's applicable to events with overcrowd of 5,000 participants, all right. But when we look at some of the other details that have been mentioned in this, that is where the controversy could actually break out, because it says that the political parties or any events, whether it is religious events, any other events, permission has to be taken at least 10 days in prior, and if the crowds are much larger, then at least 30 days prior to the event. But this is the most controversial bit, because it says that the organizers should take an undertaking, that the organizer is fully responsible for crowd safety, that the onus completely lies with the organizer, and the organizer is liable for any damage to public or private property. So this is a criticism that it has received, that the government is taking a completely hands-off approach. The time duration should be strictly adhered to, the question being, can the political party or any organizer actually ensure it? And if actual crowd turnout exceeds crowd size mentioned, then it is a violation on part of the organizer. That's what all of it says. So let's talk about the impact that it will have. Firstly, let me begin with Ranjana, because Ranjana, the TVK has been in the news over the stampede, and the TVK as well went on to say that it is the DMK government that's responsible. What do you make of these draft SOPs?
Definitely the ruling government must be responsible, because people have voted the governing people only for their safety. So the government must ensure the safety of the people who voted them to make them sit in the chief minister's chair. So they must be responsible for the people's lives and safety. They are blaming TVK or any other party to take the responsibility. Then why are they there? It is their responsibility, right? And SOP formation.
Sriram, do you agree that there should be some amount of responsibility that also lays with the government?
After so many loss of lives, now only
Sriram, do you think that the government, by giving these SOPs, would you say that the onus should lie with the organizer, or do you think that the government should also step in here and say that the government also has responsibility of the crowds?
Good evening, Pratibha. I think everybody has got a responsibility, but my point is these SOPs are actually fine. Because after what happened in Karur, I don't know who the blame is. I don't want to get into all those controversies. Let me tell you, we need to have an SOP. And more importantly, what I would like to see is, does DMK, when they host an event, do they follow these SOPs? Now, that's something which every other party must be looking at. If DMK themselves are going to break the SOPs, and then every other party, irrespective of the affiliation, it could be TVK, it could be NTK, it could be BJP, it could be DMK, ADMK, any party must question.
Because the claim that is being made, Sriram, is that the DMK is threatened by the rise of the TVK. You're a political strategist. Do you see that happening? Do you see TVK as an actual threat to the DMK? Because the claim that Vijay has been making as well, it seems to be, he sees it as a direct contest between the TVK versus the DMK. Is that how you see it play out in Tamil Nadu?
I don't think it is a direct contest between TVK and DMK. It is a tripolar contest. But DMK also knows pretty well that the votes which TVK are getting are the core votes of DMK. One of the core votes, minority, Dalits, youth, women, which should have otherwise gone to DMK. And they know pretty well that the moment the TVK starts hitting double digit, it is the AIADMK which will go into the front. In fact, they want to create a perception as if the AIADMK is not even in the race. But on the contrary, what I have been saying, in fact, I have told in public, in private to BJP leaders, don't keep calling TVK and Vijay again and again and again. If he is going to oppose Sir, if he is going to oppose Narendra Modi, if he is going to oppose CA, he opposes everything which is what you are standing for. There is no point in welcoming him to your alliance. He is not going to come. On the contrary, you build your narrative, you build your force, and anti-incumbency, when it is set, always the natural person who gets the benefit of the anti-incumbency is basically AIADMK. I want to finish it one thing. To all those people, I sympathize with TVK. But let me tell you, Chiranjeevi, when he started the party, lakhs and lakhs of people had come. In 2011, in Coimbatore, when Jayalalitha was the opposition leader, had landed in Coimbatore, I have heard several lakhs of people had come to Coimbatore. Now, nothing of this kind happened. None of their supporters stand up on transformers, damage the public properties, and behave in an uncivil manner. So TVK will have to introspect itself before they start blaming other political parties and the government also. I'm extremely clear on that.
Okay, all right. But on the point that you said about how more than the DMK, it seems to be in many of the statements that Vijay is making, he is against SIR, he has spoken against the centre, but he has also made it clear that I am against the DMK on many promises that were made, but he seems to be directing his anger more towards the DMK. Mr. Kovai Satyan, how is the AIADMK looking at this rise of the TVK in Tamil Nadu?
I don't know how AIADMK looks at, but as far as a political strategy is concerned, I would look at it as if anywhere TVK starts going beyond 15%, which is possibly happening, the damage inflicted on DMK is going to be extremely high. And you should also remember, in 2021, the same Vijay traveled in a cycle which had red and black, colored cycle, and went into the polling booth and voted, which means what? He was supporting DMK at that point in time. The petrol prices, diesel prices are all gone up. In fact, there is going to be a collateral damage to DMK the moment TVK starts to go up. And he is going to, and more importantly, what other thing which a BJP supporter who probably in Tamil Nadu would like to have, he's against DMK and he's also anti-Modi. So from 2017 onwards, anti-Modi votes have been harvested only by DMK. Now, anti-DMK votes are split. Minority votes are split. Youth votes are split in 3 ways. Only thing is the AIADMK will have to look at how to win back a section of women voters because they're not getting traction.
Okay, I'll take it, Mr. Kovai Satyan, on that, but I just want to go across to Dr. Pullarao as well because there are so many questions being asked. Vijay himself seems to be hinting that the Chief Minister is scared of the popularity of the TVK. He says that that's the reason why the DMK is so scared because huge crowds are coming in. Do you think that these SOPs that have been criticized as well, where the government does not seem to be taking the onus, is directed towards Vijay, that the government is targeting Vijay with these SOPs?
The SOPs on the face of it are very good, and it's something which should be applied nationally. Just imagine they say a road show shouldn't go beyond mere 3 hours. It's a great relief all over the country. The road shows are really poisonous because they just go through traffic. People have to stop and watch them. It's a technique, easy way, cheap way of canvassing. You take 100-car convoy and then you block everything and then say crowds have come. They've seen that. It's a very crafty way. These SOPs are good. You know, if you have better SOPs also, if you have more restrictions nationwide, we should welcome it. You know, our campaigning should become a little more humane, modern. What is this going, you know, what they're doing now, whether it's in Bihar or whether it's in UP or in Tamil Nadu, it's really archaic. It is something which is out of the books everywhere. You know, this is really, you know, between you and me, one thing to call a meeting in a stadium and get a lack of people. Another thing to take buses and vans and block traffic. It's good. SOPs.
Okay, but some of the details have been criticized because one, the onus is entirely on the organizers. Does it mean that the government has no responsibility whatsoever? And also on the crowds that are expected to limit it to a certain number. If not, it is the organizer who is liable. Mr. Kovai Satyan, is it a threat that the DMK is seeing because of which these SOPs have been brought in because huge crowds are present for Vijay's rally? Or are these SOPs which are the need of the hour?
Good evening. I see this way. This SOP by the DMK government is an admission by themselves that they are the incompetent, incapable government that Tamil Nadu has ever seen. Our allegation against DMK is they are incompetent, and this SOP proves that. A government, elected government, squarely put the blame on the organizers on regulation of a political rally is an admission that their government machinery is not functioning. And they don't know how to get the government functionary up and running. And this SOP is a resultant of High Court directing them for an SOP. It is not this government has done it proactively. This is a compulsion by the High Court, and these kinds of clauses putting all the blame on organizers will definitely not go with the High Court itself. When challenged by somebody, they have to go through it again and again. It clearly indicates that neither this government, neither government machinery has a capable leader who can deliver what people of Tamil Nadu wants. On the other side, what has happened to TVK is they are back to square one. They started off, then the Karur incident took place, then there is a break. Now Mr. Vijay is starting from, ground zero.
Kovai Satyan, there are many who believe, and that's a criticism that the DMK has said as well time and again, that after the stampede, it looks like Vijay has gone soft on the BJP and it is directing all the anger towards the DMK. How does the AIADMK view Vijay in this equation, and do you actually see a change after the stampede?
No, I would say that their unit are trying to be more responsible on the communication and message they want to send out. They want to ensure that it resonates with their cadres and people, and they are working hard towards it. And we came to know that they have formed a committee who can handle these rallies, events and crowd management. And being a responsible citizen, being a party leader, I think they are working towards it.
Okay.
And they have to rope in experts and people.
You know, if you can come in here, the reactions of many of these political parties is very interesting. The AIADMK has also not criticized Vijay too much. It seemed like even during the stampede, the BJP was also being very clear. The DMK leaders as well not taking on Vijay directly, perhaps knowing the kind of popularity that he has across Tamil Nadu, and because TVK is still testing the waters. Amid all of it, there is also that question of the Congress party. Where does the Congress party actually stand? Because there were indications that the Congress party could also be giving out feelers to the TVK. So where does the Congress equation come in this?
You're asking me?
Yes, Sriram.
Yeah, Pratibha, I think Congress, had discussions with Vijay, and Vijay was also expecting Congress to come. That is the reason why even when he talked about Kashtathivu or he was talking about NEET or anything, he had never criticized Congress. Even for a moment, he had not mentioned the word Congress. But unfortunately, the news which I have got from private sources is that Congress, after the Bihar verdict, is not willing to look at TVK as an option. That is what. But it's still a long time to go. TVK without alliances, TVK contesting on its own, which they should. They should, because at the end of the day, it's the first time, because any hero, even Pawan Kalyan contested first time as a solo because they should go solo because he's a chief ministerial candidate. I don't think AIADMK is going to be so magnanimous enough to say that, okay, we will give you deputy CM or we'll make you 2.5 years CM and we'll make ours 2.5 years CM. At the same time, Vijay is not going to be magnanimous enough in saying that I am going to probably in order to uproot DMK, I will support Edappadi as a chief minister. That is not going to happen. It is a confirmed, you can take it from me, confirm that it is going to be a four-cornered contest. Would the Congress come to TVK? Would the TTV or some other parties come to TVK? That is $1 million question. And second is that as of now, Vijay has already crossed 20% in terms of support. But you know pretty well that there is a lot of difference. Tamil Nadu is a state where candidates play a very important role, agenda plays a very important role, narrative plays a very important role, and most importantly, two Kalagams which have a huge organizational network right up to the last corner of the village. Now to compete against them for a novice, for a first timer, it's not going to be easy. So from the 25%, how much they are going to go down? Are they going to go down to 5-6%? Because first we have to accept that they are at about 20% right now. If they don't accept, if some of the analysts are not accepting, they're saying 7%, 8%. No, he has crossed only 22% because there is a huge anti-incumbency against DMK, which is visible. Now, how much is he going to lose? Because gain, I don't know. From here to, for him to gain, it will be very difficult. If alliances come, Congress comes, he could gain. But there could be a loss. But how much is he going to lose? Is he going to come and end at 15% or 12%?
Okay, so what are the options that are being weighed in by the TVK, Ms. Ranjana? It looks like there are parties that are giving out feelers to the TVK. They seem to be open to alliance as well. What is the TVK thinking at the moment? And has there been a rethink after the stampede, a realization that perhaps without an organizational support like some of the bigger parties in Tamil Nadu, it's going to be difficult for the TVK to go alone?
Any alliance with TVK will be built on principles, not with any compulsions. And our leader is very sure that we are not going to have any alliance with the DMK or BJP. And whoever accepts our principles and under the leadership of our leader, TVK Chief Vijay, we are ready to keep alliance with any party.
All options are open. That's what you're telling us. So interesting times ahead in the coming weeks and perhaps months, that will be clear. Thanking our guests for joining us this evening. We'll have to leave it at that. With that, it's time for us viewers to slip into a very quick break here. It's interesting times ahead in Tamil Nadu. We're keeping a track of the developments there. Quick break. We'll be right back.